Elon Musk's warning of Russia over the Ukraine conflict has just come to pass. It is sad that Russia has decided to invade Ukraine. The conflict has raised tensions in Europe. In the worst-case scenario, Elon predicts that it could lead to World War III.
Warning to Russia over the Ukraine conflict. Musk was right when he said that Russia is one of the countries that could cause a large-scale war in the world. The tech genius had previously made a tweet saying China, Russia, soon all countries with stronger computer science. Competition for superiority at national level most likely cause of World War III. In my opinion, it is evident that Russia's Vladimir Putin has ignored Elon's warning by starting a war with Ukraine. Military analysts and reporters across major media outlets had foreseen the conflict. It is rather unfortunate for Europe and the rest of the world. When Putin announced military operations in Ukraine, the Russian army started the invasion on the 24th of February 2022. By now you are probably wondering why the Moscow government has declared war on Ukraine. There is no need to worry, since I will clearly explain to you the various events that have triggered the war. The current war between Russia and Ukraine can be traced to January 2021, when Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky urged us President Joe Biden to let Ukraine join NATO. The move greatly angered Russia, who started moving their troops to the Ukrainian border for training exercises. By December last year, the U.S. became suspicious of the massive buildup of the Russian forces along the Ukrainian border. The U.S. intelligence reports would later reveal that Russia was planning to attack Ukraine. It is at that point when President Joe Biden warned Russia of sanctions if they dare attack Ukraine. But why would Russia not want Ukraine to join NATO? It's simple. Here's the answer. NATO is an intergovernmental military organization that has 27 European countries, 2 North American countries and 1 Eurasian country. The US, UK and France are some of the major countries in NATO. It is also important to note that Russia and the US are arch rivals who are mostly on the opposing side. Putin's government believes that Russia's national security is at great risk if Ukraine joins NATO. The risk arises when other NATO countries such as the US will have a leeway of establishing military bases in the new NATO member, in this case Ukraine. Given the bad blood between Moscow and Kiev, Russia will do all it takes to prevent Ukraine from joining the intergovernmental military organization. It is regrettable that Putin has decided that a military attack is the best decision. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine has a significant historical angle. Prior to the end of the Cold War, both Russia and Ukraine were members of the Soviet Union. In fact, people in both countries share strong social ties. Even the majority of the people in Ukraine speak the Russian language. However, things took a different trajectory after the collapse of the Soviet Union. The two countries separated and each one of them became independent. Ever since, territorial disputes have strained the relationships between the two countries. Relations between Russia and Ukraine worsened in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea. Putin's government took over the Crimean Peninsula and the city of Sevastopol that had originally belonged to Ukraine. From that time, the diplomatic ties between the two countries have gone from bad to worse. Rivalry between the two countries continued to increase. In 2015, Ukraine accused Russian cyber criminals of attacking their national power grid. More than 230,000 people experienced the power outage that lasted for a maximum of 6 hours. Elon Musk has been keenly monitoring the dispute and has not hesitated to warn Russia over the Ukraine conflict. There is no doubt that Elon Musk will support Ukraine in its current conflict with Russia. Firstly, the tech genius will support Ukraine since the US is a strong ally of Ukraine. As an American citizen and patriot, the tech billionaire is obligated to rally behind his country. Moreover, Musk has to show his allegiance to the US since he has U.S. security clearance. Secondly, he will support Ukraine since he has strong ties with the country. The tech genius has even promised to help the country install solar systems as a solution to their electric power crisis. He also enjoys a cordial relationship with Ukraine's Prime Minister Mr. Vladimir Griezmann. In 2017, the Prime Minister made a tweet appreciating Elon Musk for accepting to help Ukraine overcome power shortages through his Solar City company. The Prime Minister said in the tweet at 5 Alan Levito, "Thanks at Elon Musk. Interesting idea. Ukraine is eager to become a test site for innovation. Let's talk it over in details." Thirdly, Musk will support Ukraine since he has a beef with Russia. It is no secret that Musk has a beef with Russia. The American businessman had a very frustrating experience with the Russians in 2001 and 2002. The multi-talented tech genius made 3 trips to Russia with an aim of purchasing rockets for space exploration. It is unfortunate that all 3 trips were unsuccessful. Every time he visited, the Russians hiked the price of the rockets. When it was clear that the Russian government was not willing to sell him the rockets, he decided to start his own space company known as SpaceX. As such, Musk is fully behind Ukraine, which gives him the best moment to take revenge against the Russians. Musk's business will be greatly affected in the event that America gets involved in the war between Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine, the US economy will perform dismally, weakening the dollar in the world market. This will be a big setback for Musk's companies that are in America. A strong and functioning economy in America is the one that will propel Musk's business to growth. Currently the Tesla founder is the richest man in the world. He will not want to be passed by other billionaires such as Bernard I don't know from France. Musk is worried that the US may end joining the war, which is a big setback to his business interests. The United States and Ukraine will definitely defeat Russia in case the war happens. The U.S. has a strong military that is unrivaled. America's armed forces have also been hardened by wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Unlike Russia's army that has not been fighting, America has better chances of winning as they have very many allies across the world. The US has built strong relationships with many countries. As such, the US will have a large fighting force that will overwhelm Putin's army. The military and technological advancement of the U.S. will give it an advantage over Russia. America is literally the home of every technology. The US may decide to deploy some of its nuclear bombers that have the potential of evading the radar detection. The US will overcome Russia as they have a stronger economy. Financial support is very critical for the success of war. The US has enough money that it can use in war. Do not forget that America is the home to some of the greatest billionaires in the world. According to Bloomberg Billionaires Index, the US has 8 out of the top 10 richest men on earth come from America. Billionaires such as Elon Musk will support Musk U.S. in Ukraine against Russia. So far, more than 40 Ukrainians and 50 Russian soldiers have died in the war between Russia and Ukraine. Putin's army has unleashed a number of missiles to targets in Ukraine. It is now clear that Russia will stop at nothing. Vladimir Putin has even indicated on live TV that he is ready for whatever outcomes of the war. The Ukrainian Prime Minister has advised their Ukrainians to protest against the war. The Kiev government has mocked Russia by comparing Putin to Hitler. Top officials in Kiev believe that Putin will cause World War III just as Hitler caused World War I. They have also called upon their allies to stand by them. NATO has promised to give Ukraine all the necessary support they need. The NATO chief will convene a meeting that will discuss how they will help Ukraine overcome the crisis. Generally, Russia has received widespread condemnation for attacking Ukraine. Australia's Scott Morrison, South Korea's Moon Jae, and Israel's Naftali Bennett are some of the world leaders that have castigated Putin's action of invading Ukraine. The war between Russia and Ukraine has begun just as it was predicted by Elon Musk. The Tesla Motors Pro is keenly watching the developments of the conflict, and we will keep you updated in a timely manner. Similarly, as soon as Musk comments on the crisis, we will let you know. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications enabled so that you don't miss out on the latest Elon Musk news. Anyways guys, if you want to see more interesting videos, click the video right above.